Welcome to Cheat Code Nutrition, the podcast where science meets strategy to help you decode your body and unlock next level health. I'm your host, Ellie Young, functional nutrition practitioner and genetic testing nerd, here to guide you through the real root causes of fatigue, stubborn weight, hormonal chaos, and mystery symptoms the traditional system shrugs off. Whether you're optimizing for longevity, performance, or just want to feel like yourself again, you're in the right place. Around here, we don't guess, we test. We use functional lab work, genetic nutrition, and a no BS approach to precision wellness that works with your body, not against it. If you're ready to ditch the one-size-fits-all protocols and start working with your actual blueprint, this is your cheat code. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Cheat Code Nutrition. I'm going live today on Instagram to share my podcast, and this is your post-summer metabolic reset. 3 simple places to start. So if your reset, because the kids are back to school, is all about I'm just going to eat less and exercise more, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there, and let me give you something more effective that is actually going to help you leapfrog all of the things that are kind of blocking your metabolism in the first place. So this is where I start with all of my clients. It's the gut. And if you're ignoring this piece of your overall health while jumping into the use of a GLP-1 or a hardcore diet or an exercise routine and you haven't addressed your digestion, this is the best place to start. And it's not something that's going to overwhelm you or you're going to have to go through some gnarly detox. So September kind of feels like a second new year. The kids are back in school, structure returns, you're starting to get a little more of your free time back. But back to school also means early mornings, carpools, tons of sports and activities, homework stress, work demands. It's a different kind of stress, right? And the common mistake that most people make at this point is they try to fix everything at once. We're trying to kind of bounce back from the behaviors of summer with like a new diet, a hard workout, 12 different supplements, perfect sleep, no sugar, no carbs. Sound familiar, right? But this isn't a reset. This is basically overwhelm dressed up in like a cute workout outfit. Like, oh, this is, I'm going to do this. Summer is the travel, the eating out, the late nights, more alcohol at every turn, inconsistent sleep, inconsistent workouts, irregular digestion. So we're not trying to punish ourselves for the fun that we had over the summer, but we do need a few reliable anchors. And for me and my clients, this is where all my friends that are coming to me at the end of summer, like, dude, where do I start? I don't even know. This is where I start, everybody. We start with the gut. We're going to stabilize what's going on in the gut. Number 2, we're going to build a winning breakfast, one meal that you can anchor around that's going to set you up for success for the rest of your day. And 3, I'm going to encourage you to invest in some testing so that every sort of move that you want to make after this is built from your personalized information and your data so that you are not just looking for a needle in a haystack, going online to Instagram and following whatever trend of wellness there is out there. Instead, we are working from your information and we are going, hey, this is the highest priority for you. So let's start where I start all of my clients with the gut. Now, if you want to get this, I'm actually going to be reading off of one of my super cool guides that I've made. I have a lot of free, cool content on my website, My Cheat Code Nutrition. If you've never taken a tour around there, go to the tab, go to the free resources. I have a lot of cool stuff. This is actually a paid resource because there's so much good stuff in there, but it's only $37 and it's called the Gut Healing Blueprint. And let's just get to the nitty gritty. The gut controls more than digestion. It controls your hunger hormones. GLP-1, sound familiar? PPY and ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Now, fiber and short chain fatty acids, this is what your gut bacteria actually produce, help improve insulin sensitivity and blood sugar balance. So this is super critical to your overall metabolism. Now, all the different little species in there, the good ones that are called your keystone species, this is Akkermansia, Bifidobacterium, these support healthy weight and fat metabolism. So when our guts are off, it's called dysbiosis. This is essentially what happens when we've been eating a ton of processed foods, we've been staying up late, we've had a ton of stress in our lives. or probably more commonly with everybody after summer, alcohol. We have been drinking way too much alcohol. Not me, because I'm over 5 years alcohol free, but I'm pretty sure everybody else is, uh, struggling with the booze. All right, I'm paused for some reason here, but let's see. Oh, we're back. Sorry, I was frozen there. All right, so this is why we want to build a resilient microbiome. When your gut is resilient, you're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel more stable energy. You're going to feel fewer sugar cravings. Weight loss will be easier, and you're going to have improved metabolic flexibility. That means that your body can switch from burning carbs to burning fat in a fasted state more readily. Okay. Um, how do we support gut metabolism balance? Here are some super easy things to just keep in your mind. You don't want to start out eating 30 to 40 grams of fiber, but that should be your goal over time, right? If you take a look at how much fiber you're eating throughout the day, spend one day actually just reading labels, writing it down. If you are only in like the 10 to 15 grams of fiber a day, you know you've got some room to improve, but don't go and throw 10, 20 grams of fiber on top of that. You want to baby step your way up so that you don't bloat yourself. Now, interestingly enough, I've worked with a ton of clients on this. A lot of times bumping up our fiber, we don't have the good gut bacteria in there that can help break down that fiber. And that's where you get tons of bloating and tons of gas and you get super uncomfortable. So if that's you, if bumping up your fiber, if you were like, hey, I get really farty when I eat lots of broccoli or cabbage or things like that, that means you don't have adequate, good, healthy gut bacteria to break that stuff down. So how do we build that up? Probiotics are an amazing place to start. If you need a recommendation, DM me. I have a slew of probiotics. There are so many incredible strains out there. And yes, it's quite complex, but there are some really good brands that are doing amazing things. And there's specific strands that do specific things. And this is what I do with my clients. But something you can do outside of probiotics is just start to slowly incorporate more fermented foods. This is your kimchi and your sauerkraut. I can't do those. I struggle with the smell to even get one bite in my mouth, but I like beet kvass juice. There's an amazing brand on Amazon. It's spelled KVASS. It's like fermented beet juice. You pour a little shot. It tastes super briny and salty. It's kind of like pickle juice. Really great. That'll be amazing for your gut health. Additionally, you can work in fermented cottage cheese. That sounds gross, but actually, if you go to the store right now, there's some really awesome brands of cottage cheese. Good Culture, another one. Oh, I'm blanking on the name. It's like a lady's name, cottage cheese. It tastes just like regular cottage cheese, but it has billions of live cultures in there. So again, we're trying to build these in daily, up the amount of fermented foods you're eating daily. This is essentially adding in all of the good bacteria. You want to build a variety. Don't just eat the same one every single day. Like I love kefir. Is it kefir or kefir? It's kind of like yogurt. It's more like a liquidy yogurt. I started swapping that. I used to do a yogurt and now I'm doing kefir every other day, swap it up. Um, Anyways, these, again, you want to have the variety. What these do is you're adding in those little good gut bacteria. That way, when we start to add in more fiber, more color, more polyphenols, there's the bacteria in there to break that stuff down. That's the bacteria's job is to ferment all of those vegetables and those fibers and produce short chain fatty acids. Short chain fatty acids are what help with all of your metabolism, your mental health. They also help create a really solid, healthy gut lining so that you don't get leaky gut, right? Leaky gut is kind of a trendy thing right now. You hear a lot about it. It's particularly an issue in peri and menopause. Why? Because estrogen starts to decline, right? When estrogen starts to decline, we start to lose gut diversity. That means we get less of the good guys in our gut. And over time, that means our gut lining starts to become kind of compromised and it gets more leaky. And that's when we see endotoxins start to leak through the gut and start to translocate in different parts of our body. So it shows up for people in different ways. Some people it shows up as a mental health thing. You get anxiety, depression. Other people it'll show up in the skin and you'll start to get rosacea or adult acne. Other people it'll show up as joint pain or maybe brain fog, okay? This is the translocation of a toxin from your gut. This toxin is actually called LPS. And for people who don't know what that means, it's lipopolysaccharide. Look it up. It's causing all sorts of damage systemically through your body. And what they found is that women in menopause have a much heightened level of it because have lost that estrogen that helps keep that lining of our gut tight, so that stuff doesn't seep through. So also we produce more lipopolysaccharide. It's something that's produced naturally in the gut from something called gram-negative bacteria. We're supposed to have a little bit in the gut, but when it starts to get out of balance and we have too many gram-negative bacteria producing this lipopolysaccharide, it starts to disrupt things. It creates inflammation in the gut. It leaks through, and that's where you start to see this havoc. So working on gut health first and foremost is how we start to see these other like systems downstream improve, right? Your hormone health, your mental health, your metabolism. It's all starting in the gut. And so with all of my clients, this is what we do. We start to work on adding in the fermented foods, slowly building in our fiber, prioritizing polyphenol rich foods, color in our diet. We try to eat 30 different plant varieties a week. That can include different nuts and seeds, different spices, different grains, different legumes, all the colors of the rainbow. And then, of course, we love to move. Daily exercise stimulates short chain fatty acids and it actually improves glucose control, right? Because anytime you're moving your body, you're basically pulling sugar out of the bloodstream to fuel the movement in your muscles. So, that's the gut part of this. And there's an amazing gut brain connection, everybody. So, I mean, if you are struggling with anxiety, with depression, and you haven't worked on your gut health, this is something you can do. So, there was a major study out of the Netherlands where they tracked treatment resistant people with depression, okay? So the people who had the highest, most intense levels of depression, they were trying to track it against different biomarkers. And the one biomarker that was consistently showing up at also very, very high levels to correlate with the depression was lipopolysaccharide, that endotoxin. And what they found is when they treated it for 90 days, these people with a probiotic, a very specific probiotic, which is the one I put all of my clients on, they lowered their lipopolysaccharide and they lowered their depression. It outperformed SSRIs and placebo. That's incredible, right? And so you probably recognize this in yourself. I can't tell you how many of my clients come to me after they've had a tummy bug. And maybe they've been traveling this summer and they said, oh, I came back and something's not right. I'm off. I have, diarrhea, throwing up, whatever it is. And then maybe within a couple days, they start to feel anxious. They get anxiety or they get a low feeling, they get a little depression. That's because they've changed the microbiome in the gut and it's affecting their mental health. And so I see this all the time. So we work to restore that. We work to rebuild that up. There's specific strains that are really, really great after you've had a tummy bug, after you've been on antibiotics. There's also specific strains that are built to help with anxiety and depression. So all of these things, I start with the gut because I know this is how we get all these other issues downstream better. Okay? A healthy gut means a clearer, calmer, more resilient brain. All right, so what are the 5 pillars of a resilient microbiome? The food you're eating, stress is huge, calming your nervous system and supporting your vagus tone, right? Lifestyle, your sleep, your rhythm, your movement, connection with others and nature, your exposures to other people, um, reducing harmful disruptors. I'm looking at you, alcohol. Alcohol is like pouring, like it just kills your little garden in there. Everything you're working to build and grow in there. Think about it. Alcohol is like they use it in the hospital to kill bacteria, right? So they're doing the same thing. When you are drinking alcohol regularly, you are killing off your good, healthy gut bacteria. That's why you have an inflamed gut. That's why you feel shaky and nervous the next day and you have anxiety. It's all related. If you really want to start to eliminate the things that are destroying your gut health, alcohol should be number 1 on your list. Reducing it. If you need support with that, this is my very first thing. My first love was alcohol-free life coaching, and it changed my entire life, my entire health trajectory. And I highly recommend it if you haven't explored changing your relationship to alcohol. It will change your life. It'll change your health. And no, you don't have to give up your fun to do this. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna move on past the microbiome because I don't want to lose all of you in the nitty gritty science of all this stuff. But I'm gonna just give you a couple more tips here about some things you can try. So I'm just going off this guide, and it's um it's a really amazing guide. So again, it's called the Gut Healing Blueprint. It's on my website. Actually, I don't even know if it's on my website. I'll put the link in my show notes because it's not on my website. It's just a separate page. So I will put the link in my show notes here. All right. So here is a 5 pillars of your microbiome implementation checklist, things that you can try to do in the next couple of weeks here to try and start build back a healthy microbiome. So you're working up to 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day. How do you do that? Start adding one new plant variety this week. Be like, you know what? I'm going to try to incorporate because a lot of people just get in this rhythm of eating the same foods every day, and it's you're not exposing yourself to enough diversity. You're also not giving the guys in there different foods to ferment and break down so they can make different short chain fatty acids for you. Okay. So try to eat at least 3 different color groups today. All right. If not, try to eat the whole rainbow, right? I always try to eat the rainbow every single day. It's not always possible, but at least get a minimum of 3 different colors per day. And then at the end of the week, try to hit 30 different unique plants this week. Um, Avoid any unnecessary antibiotics, right? Reduce your toxin exposure. So, this is the plastics. Plastic is huge. One of the biggest ones I do with my clients too is if you're drinking out of a plastic water bottle, switch to a stainless steel. That's an easy lift. Pay attention to the food. Containers that you're using. If you can switch everything to glass, that's another simple one. Don't reheat your food in plastic. If you get to go food that's hot, switch it into a regular glass container as quickly as possible. Things like that. Um, Eliminate, try to buy organic. Pesticides are terrible for you. By the way, if you ever go gluten free, which I am, you actually eliminate your exposure to pesticides significantly. Glyphosate, right? So that they spray this on all the grains. So often people feel better when they eliminate gluten because they are actually just reducing their overall exposure to glyphosate. Think about that. Food for thought. A lot of people might not think that they have any sort of GI discomfort from gluten and they're like, I don't need to eliminate gluten. But when you do, you just see yourself shrink because you're going to try. Why waste your time? Why spin your wheels on plans and health information that is not built for you? Start with your DNA. It's a one time test, and you will have this information that you can layer on top of every health strategy for the rest of your life. And I help you interpret it and I help you build strategies based on it. It is incredible with the clients that I have done this and they continue to work with me. They all continue to work with me because I have this amazing data with them and I get to go, "Hey, you want to try that supplement? Let's look at this thing." And we start to work through, is this best for them? And then we continue to run their labs and I'm constantly asking questions and querying their DNA data and going, is this right for you? Oh, hey, we saw this funky thing show up. Let's go back to your genes and see what could potentially be going on there. And it's amazing. It's an amazing way to point yourself in the right direction with your health. So I highly recommend that, and then get the comprehensive labs. You shouldn't just be getting labs once a year. You should be getting labs at least twice a year. Some of my clients were running them 3, 4 times a year because it's an amazing feedback loop. Take control of your health. For the longest time, doctors have been this kind of gatekeeper of data, of information, of health decisions for yourself. That has completely changed. There is an incredible science, wearables, different tests that you can do all at the home. And one of the coolest things that I've been doing for my clients is they don't even have to go to the lab. You can hire a mobile phlebotomist to come to your house and draw your blood. This has worked out really, really well for my husband because he works all day and he not only will he not schedule the appointment to go get his labs, he's like, he'll miss the appointment because he forgot. He's like, oh, I got busy. I didn't go and I forgot to fast. Da, da, da. So now we have the mobile phlebotomist. I think it's like an extra $80 to have the person come to your house. You book the window of time they come, and in 5 minutes, you get your labs done. It is phenomenal. And then I get your data, I geek out on it, and then I help you make decisions about this. And it's always a moving, it's a progress. What am I trying to say here? It's a process. So it's never like, "Hey, we got it. Now we'll never have to change anything again." We continue to test and we continue to go, all right, so this changed. What did we do this week? I'm sorry, what did we do these last 6 months? All right, we changed these supplements, we changed this diet, we tried this stuff, and then we get to see what's working, what's not, shift things around because life is never the same. We go through seasons, we go through hormonal changes, we go through stress. And so we're going to always we need to be engaging with our data and being like, "Hey, how is my life affecting my overall health right now?" If you are just living with blinders and you have no idea, that's not a way to live. Your health is the most important thing you have. And I can help you manage this part of your life because this is what I like to do. I love the numbers, I love geeking out on it, and I love trying different things for different people because everybody's different. Everybody has a different threshold for how much capacity they can change. But I want to be super honest with you. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're like, I just want to take a shot and have my weight drop and I didn't have to change anything, I didn't have to address any other parts of my lifestyle, that's not it, right? If I just want to take a supplement and not, again, not give up the alcohol and not change my diet and not try and eat more things to help my microbiome, that's not going to do it. You're not going to get the results, right? But if you are willing to start to stack little things upon one another and get these foundations right, the sky is the limit with your health. You can really, really start to feel a ton better. You can start to lose the weight. You can start to have energy. It's it's a game changer and you don't have to obsess over the information. I can do that for you and then I can guide you. Okay? That is my superpower is to look at your information and help you guys do this. This is what I do for my clients inside the metabolic reset. We build the first 4 weeks is the gut reset. We get your gut dialed in. If you want to explore a GLP-1 at that point, after your gut is firing, then we explore the GLP-1 or we just start working on your nutrition. In addition, we've done your testing, we've done your DNA, and we've done your comprehensive labs. So now every move I make is based on your specific data. I don't know, not one, two clients are the same. We are uniquely look working on your little synthesizer and moving all these things away. And again, this isn't your standard panels. These are functional lab panels. We are looking at so many different biomarkers for you. I also run Dutch hormone panels for people. I do GI mapping for more gut involved information. If you're having more gut issues, we can do a GI map. And so these are all the things that we do to really start to optimize your health. And it's a proactive approach, not a reactive approach. We don't wait for us to get sick. We actually start to invest time and attention to these things. All right. And like I said before, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. If you are even listening to this, you are clearly motivated by something to create some sort of positive change in your life. And that starts with just a small amount of attention and a willingness to commit to some small little anchors in your life that are going to help you improve these things. And where can you start? With your gut, with your microbiome. And if you don't know where to start with that, check out my gut healing blueprint. It's only $37. I will link it in the show notes, but that is an amazing place to get started and to just start incorporating these things into your life. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with me today. And if you want to learn more about the Gut Healing Blueprint, check out the show notes. If you want to check out the Metabolic Reset, where I do it all for you, we do the gut reset. We work on your DNA testing. We work on your comprehensive labs, and we build a strategy specifically for you. That is the 12-week Metabolic Reset. Check it out in the show notes. And don't let this window of time. School is back in. You have a window of time before the holidays start. I can't tell you how many people say, "Ooh, I can't do it because it's summer. I can't do this thing because I'm traveling. I can't make any changes to my life because I'm traveling. It's been summer and I'm drinking all the time." Then it's the holidays, right? They're right around the corner, but this is your window. September and October, you have 2 months where you can dedicate yourself to making some changes and to showing up. That is what's important, the consistency. It is so simple. You don't have to do a lot. You just have to show up. Like a lot of things in life, in the gym, just show up, right? With your microbiome, just show up. Do small little things to help your microbiome. I am so excited to start working with a bunch of new clients this fall and start making people feel their best. So if that's you, if you're inspired by any of this, come check it out. And I look forward to working with you. Take care, everybody. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. You never know who might be one conversation away from starting their own health transformation. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start understanding your biology, the best place to begin is with Cheat Code Nutrition Labs. Your symptoms aren't random, they are biological data waiting to be understood. Whether you're struggling with fatigue, stubborn weight gain, hormone imbalances, digestive issues, brain fog, inflammation, poor recovery, or you simply want to optimize your health and longevity, our advanced lab testing helps uncover what's really going on beneath the surface. From there, you can choose your own adventure. Some clients continue into one of our 12-week optimization programs where we take a deep dive into your health with a personalized roadmap that may include nutrition, gut healing, lifestyle optimization, supplements, advanced testing, and of course, peptides when appropriate. Others prefer the flexibility of our Cheat Code Nutrition membership. This is where you get ongoing access to my guidance, preferred pricing on labs, testing, supplements, and peptides, and the ability to build your health strategy at your own pace with an expert support along the way. So, no matter where you're starting, the goal is the same, helping you understand your biology so you can make confident decisions and finally get results that make sense. If this sounds good to you, head on over to my website, mycheatcodenutrition.com, and explore my programs. Until next time, remember, the smartest people aren't waiting for symptoms to become diagnoses. They're taking ownership of their health, staying curious, and using data to build a better future. I'll see you on the next episode.